Okay. Hello, welcome to everybody to the Arts and Heritage meeting at Stapleford Town Council. So, first item on the agenda is apologies for absence.
We've got two apologies, Councillors Frost and Bradley.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any substitutions?
Councillor Helen Davis was down, but Councillor Bradley forgot to actually say. So,
Thank you. Okay. Declarations of interest. Anybody? Nope. So, meetings of the previous meeting. I wasn't actually here, but I'll propose them as a true record.
I'm happy to do that, so I was here.
Yeah, so seconded by Teresa. All those in favour? Yeah. And I'll abstain because I wasn't here. Public participation. We've got one member of the public that don't wish to speak.
Just come to be nosy today.
Okay. Right, item 6, we're blazing through this. So, feedback on recent events. And at the moment, all we've got down on this agenda is the Remembrance Service and Parade. So, if any councillors have got anything to say about that, Richard?
Yeah, it was a good event, they always are. There's been a request for chairs up on the staged area, whatever we call it, just for people that's less able-bodied. I think that's the way to say it, without offending anybody. Because there was some people that were elderly got poorly legs and that, they would like to have sat there. I think it worked better having it was all stood up. We weren't there that long, was we? It was there. It was a nice thing. But yeah, just a stack of chairs perhaps sticking at the side for those that may need one would be pretty good. And then the only other things that's been raised is, I think we all noticed this, and nobody knew till today, did we? There was a lack of communication somewhere, and I don't know whose fault it was, I'm not blaming anybody, but we all noticed that there was no band, was there? But I don't think any of us knew that until it happened, or it didn't happen. And then also the Salvation Army was really late. I think someone had to run down and fetch them from wherever they were. People just need to know they need to be on time. And then the last thing was the Salvation Army cut off the second verse of the national anthem. But I think that's because most places just do the first verse anyway. But on the programme, the whole thing was written down, the first and second verse. Some people was like ready for that, and then it just didn't happen. So it's just constructive criticism, I think. But no, it's a good event, it always is. I think it's big each year.
Yeah, you're on about the band, marching band that walks the parade. Yeah, from the feedback I saw, it was due to lack of members since COVID. The actual membership has dropped on the band, so maybe we could help promote the Boys Brigade so they could get the band back together, so to speak. Anybody else got any feedback on Remembrance?
I'd just like to thank Alan for stepping in, because it was quite a short time frame from him starting to, by the way, you've got this to do. Yeah, I think he did a good job, because I think it was him running round to him and Daryl to get the Salvation Army. We had no idea they were going to be so rock and roll and just turn up at the last minute. So, yeah. Thanks but thank you. I'd like to thank the Salvation Army as well, because they're always good. Yeah.
I'll just make a brief comment saying that the turnout was very good as well, and especially younger people turning up as well, which I think is good. So respect no history of Wars 22 traditions for years to come. So very happy.
Yeah, I think as an event, it grows every year. More and more people become aware and come down, and that's good. And I echo what Richard said about chairs. I know there were a few people, because we did have a few people faint, didn't we? I think one was a youngster there
Wouldn't have had a chair anyway.
Well done to the first aiders and whatever that were there that day dealing with that side of things as well. Anybody else? No? Okay. So we'll move on to item 7, update on upcoming actions events. So proposed events for 23-24. So there's a sheet here which I'll hand round.
Do you want to do
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thanks very much.
Not just a lab assistant.
No.
So I think, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but obviously I don't think we ought to propose any new events, because obviously we don't know if any of us are going to be here after May to see them through. And I think we ought to concentrate on the ones we've already got, and make them as good as we can and finish off what's left to be finished before May. Yeah? Apart from obviously the coronation, I mean, has anybody got anything to say about the proposed events? Item 1, Richard?
Yeah, I was going to say the same as you've just said, so I'm glad to hear that it should be to the next administration, whoever they may be. They might have different ideas, you know. So that's pretty good. I did want some down, let me find it. Because obviously they've got a list that we passed on anyway, won't it? These look like events that's like, if we say how many events, are we kind of doing all of it? Yeah. Okay, proposed events, yeah. So one of the coronations, the next one, isn't it?
Sorry?
So I was looking at, I'm just doing proposed events at the minute, and I was looking on here, it says coronation, and then the coronation's the next thing. We're doing it all kind of together.
Well, no. This was to propose probably events that we could look at in the future, but obviously, like I said, we're not sure whether we'll be here after May. So I'm suggesting that we don't actually propose any new events.
Of course not. So the other thing is the celebration for the kid, which is a really big thing.
Yeah.
It's yes, something needs to be done. We do need to try and find out what Broxton are doing as well, because I know one of the requests they've had is to get the big screen on the park, because they've had the changeovers from Liberty Leisure to Broxton. They just, I mean, it sounds quite easy to me, but they're saying they've got to settle in, but they have been asked to bring the big cinema screen down. Because isn't there a big concert or something on Sunday? I'm sure it's like, isn't it? They said the Saturday's the day, isn't it? The Sunday's like a duty thing.
The same like concerts like for the Jubilee.
Yeah, so it's a big thing like that. They've been asked about that. Yeah, it's really good. We haven't got that long to try and get all the groups and organisations together that might want to be involved, because when Purdy kicks in, it's not something we can do.
No.
It can't be helped, you know. I mean, we could write to the King and say, you want to put it back a few months, but I think he'd tell us to get lost. So yeah, it's a really good event, it's really important, we need to do something. It's just going to be difficult to get it all organised in such a short time, because like I say, it's only a month to submit it, and we've got to be careful what we do publicly and stuff like that.
So, sorry to interrupt. Can we say that we're happy with this event list of like the Easter Bonnet competition, which is very minimal input from anybody apart from advertising and things? I would say that is okay to go ahead.
There's a note on there about could be changed to Easter egg.
Either, I'm happy with either.
Yeah, who put that there?
I did.
Sorry, I didn't see that.
Just to say, because obviously we were trying to work it so that it's compact itinerary, and we have got the Mayor's Afternoon Tea coming up, so it was a thing of like, rather than trying to do two things, maybe combine the event and make it one nice big event, and then maybe linking it into the Easter stuff. But obviously we've got the problem with the Purdah period.
Yeah.
But Easter is during the Purdah, so yeah, because it's the April, I wrote it all down.
It's the first week of April, isn't it?
Yeah, it's April the 9th. So Sunday, April 9th is Easter Sunday.
Purdah kicks in on the
Purdah-
21st.
22nd of March I've got for the Purdah period. So whatever we do for Easter, it's going to be in that Purdah period. So if we, it was that thing of like, we might want to try and combine it to try and sort of, I don't know, it was kind of a suggestion of trying to simplify things really.
Could we, because I don't know what Richard might know, are the mayors still allowed to do functions during Purdah?
It depends if they're standing again. Like David said, he's not standing for Broxton. Well, that's his choice. So David's not standing, so they're looking at the possibility he can keep doing stuff, but he wouldn't be able to take like any of his guys as his consort. It wouldn't be right, would it? But I think they'll limit what he can do. I'm not going to tell him no, tell me off, but I think because he's not standing, he might still be able to do things. And I'm guessing it would be the same with the mayor. If the mayor isn't 100% not standing next time, then why shouldn't they be able to do stuff? Because they're still there. They just wouldn't be able to do anything with councillors or tea days and all that kind of stuff. Which is one of the things.
Just some advice on that.
Yes, I have just got some information through, but it's literally just come through today from now. So,
Right, okay.
and it's about practice for publicity during Purdah. So I will go through that. Would you like me to forward something to the committee because of the time frame, rather than wait?
Can you send that to all councillors as well, just so everyone
Yes,
gets a bit?
certainly can.
Yeah.
Might be helpful for everybody.
Yeah, I think we need some advice on that, because I think that's a good idea, combine the two, but if we can't, then we'll have to come back to it,
It depends on the timing, doesn't it, of the mayor's tea and whether it can be in the Purdah period or not, so I might have to
It's awkward, isn't it?
It is very awkward because it'd be horrible not to do something for Easter because we're in Purdah, but obviously it's limiting on what we can do, isn't it?
Right, so they're still running ahead. So that's the only one we've got coming up, isn't it? Obviously, that will be down to the new administration for us.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, God, I would imagine we're. Oh no, that will be down.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's all there.
Yeah, okay. I'm just looking at all the dates.
Mm.
Go on,
Did you want me to make a proposal that we accept this draft of events, but with a provision of seeking advice on the Easter bonnet and afternoon tea thing? Would that help? Okay, and then we can crack on with the other bits. Yeah, I'll propose that then. Do you want me to say that again, Beverly?
Please, yes, thank you.
I propose that we accept the draft proposal for events 2022-23 and the draft proposal of events 23-24, but with a referral to yourself to look into what effect the Purdah period will have on the Easter event and the mayor's afternoon tea.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I'll second that.
All those in favour? That's everybody. Thank you. Right, okay. So now the coronation celebrations, thoughts and ideas. I mean, I was, to go on from what Richard was on about, I don't know what Liberty Leisure are doing or the borough at the moment. I suppose we need to fight to that end.
What does Liberty Leisure now just be?
What the leisure,
There's sports centres and things.
yeah. But we've often talked about like a party in the park or a picnic in the park, where we're on about providing the entertainment and then people bring their own picnic. Maybe we have a few stalls, ice cream van and bits and bobs, but obviously this will be down to staff members, because all of us will be a bit not allowed to do anything.
We will, 6th of May is
Yeah,
after
yeah,
the
yeah.
election.
But
in the run
Before
to-
that,
We can do stuff, I'm just not
Can't publicise
publicly.
it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
No, and that's what I was saying. You can't have meetings where we've got groups and organisations coming
No.
in, whoever they may be, like a public meeting and that, because that's what it would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It makes it difficult. It's just the way it's felt, hasn't it? But I think, like I say, a picnic idea where people bring their own food. If Rochester Borough Civic with Alex and all that, if they can get the screen, because I asked them early, because I thought everywhere's going to be trying to get the screen on, like Kimberley, Eastwood, and everything. We want it, don't we? If we can get that, brilliant. If we can't, it don't matter. At least we've tried. Yeah, a big picnic thing. That's all we can do in it, staging and try and get some local acts up on there and stuff. It's just organising it before the cut-off day, isn't it? Perhaps it would be worth having what do you call it? I know, I might say working group, just a quick working group meeting and invite groups and organisations to come along that might have some ideas. It's just that we don't have long to do it. We need to get it organised pretty quick, and then I'm sure it'll go out on the day, won't it? Do you know what I mean? But it doesn't give us that, like, we can't meet a couple of weeks before and do it, can we?
Yeah, and maybe an email out to all groups and organisations within the local area that might want to help or support in some way, like community leaders, like WI, there's they might want to participate kind of things. So are we happy with looking at doing a party in the park?
No.
Is everybody, a picnic in the park,
Picnic,
sorry,
yeah.
I'll confuse you.
The other thing is, as well, it's booking stuff early as well, isn't it? Because everybody's going to be booking stages, everybody's going to be booking PAs, everyone's going to be booking bands and entertainment.
Yeah.
That's why I think it'd be good to have a meeting separately just for that. Invite people to come. Some will come, some won't, but you give them the opportunity to come and then see what we can do. It says we've got a budget of that amount of money there. Let's keep it this side, that we don't really want to over it, do we? You know, Broxtowe might, I don't know if they're going to, if I did, I'd tell you, they might turn around like before and say, oh, we've got some money for each town to apply for. At the minute, that hasn't been set, and it might not be set, you know, it's happened in the past.
I think the first thing to do then is contact the borough and see if they're doing the screen thing. If they're not, then maybe start booking stages and acts and things.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if it's okay, if you agree, staging is crucial. I've got somebody just on hold because everyone's wanting them.
Yeah, I think it's down to what the borough's doing.
Yes, yes.
That holds us
Yeah.
up to make decisions, so
Yeah.
you'll have to get some confirmation from them, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, that's fine. And also the group, this group was really popular. It's just that if I can just tentatively contact them rather than wait until we've got them.
Yeah.
I would say it's probably a good idea to book a stage at this point, because whatever happens, we will probably want a stage.
Even if we've got a big screen, if the borough's doing a big screen.
This says the Saturday on here,
6.
the 6th of Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look, I've only looked at it briefly. Wasn't it the Sunday that was trying to push like big community events and that on the Sunday? I'm sure that's the thing, it isn't it?
Big lunch, I think.
Yeah, that's it. The big lunch was the day after, it was a Sunday. I think, because what the official Palace stuff, if I've read it right, if it's on the internet somewhere, I think they kind of said Saturday watch it on your telly, Sunday do some community event, Monday it was about working in the community, something like that, wasn't
I
it?
want to say that, I think on that website, and the board website, it says like wanting a big help out on the bank holiday Monday.
That's it.
Like some community and
Yeah.
Like a big litter pick or something,
yeah,
yeah.
something like that. But I'm just wondering, so we organise anything by the council to make that?
Yeah,
to
we've
make
done, yeah, again, if we're going to do something like a community lick pick,
It's just something community, isn't it?
then we'll have to get the litter pick things from the borough.
But again, we need to be quick, don't we? So is it worth proposing then that we have a quick working group for this? Get
Yeah,
everyone here as quick as possible, what needs, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will just say one more thing from the board website again on the Sunday. It does say like the Centrepiece to Coronation concerts, are actually that may just be part of the concert in January. There's something called like the Nason, like iconic locations around the UK. I think we've just
Is
missed
that-
it.
Is that the
Is
beacon?
that the beacon?
No,
I think
he doesn't want beacons.
Oh, good. We've got one, but it's got the Queen's crown on it.
I think this is getting confused.
Anyone go with the fire?
Have you got that information off the website, or would you like John told us to email it to you?
Oh, that
Would
would
help?
be great. Thanks, Thomas. I've got some, but yeah.
So yeah, we'll take that proposal then, they're setting up a working group to meet at the soonest possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's like, look at the picnic in park, decide the day.
Yeah.
And then take it from there. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
So do we need to vote on that?
Yeah, so that's the proposal to set up a working group.
I'm happy to second that.
All those in favour?
There you go, nobody like working groups for the week. I'm getting used like them now, aren't I?
It's just more meetings.
Can you just make sure it doesn't clash with any of the Broxton meetings as well? Just so we can all come. Please, thank you.
Yeah.
So, mosaic installation update.
Okay, this kind of ties in with the time capsule bit. The plan was to put the time capsule under the mosaics on Queen Elizabeth Park. But when the searchers came back from Borough, they said there was utility pipes and things, so we couldn't put the time capsule there. So there is I'll come back to what the plan is proposed now for the time capsule when we get to it. So we can just go ahead now and put in the mosaics in at the bottom of Queen Elizabeth Park. I've spoken to Beverly briefly about it because we are taking on a contractor to do some work for the allotments. So we might be able to ask the contractor to actually install the mosaics. And obviously, it would be nice to do it sort of maybe as an Easter thing again, when the weather's a bit better, when people can go and look at them rather than do it in the middle of winter. So I think we'll have to sort of do when we've got the contractor sorted out, get them to sort of come in and do the installation for us. So that's just one of the things.
The ground was cleared, ready.
Yeah, the ground's cleared ready, it's got wood chip on it, so it shouldn't get all weedy, and then it's like we've got to kind of look after it once they're there, so yeah, that's the plan.
Has anybody got any questions on that? No? Anything? So the micro forest tree planting update. So, town clerk's emailed Fairfield. I'm still waiting on a response. I don't think we've got any more information than that at the moment. No.
Yeah, I think there's a few of us trying to get in touch with them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, the last I heard is Borough did contact them about trees, but I don't know what's happened between that. Town capsule update.
Right, so but we've just said that the time capsule couldn't go in the bit where the Queen Elizabeth Park is where the mosaics are going to go. I don't know who suggested it, was it you or Phil Bennett suggested that actually it could go in the foundations of the new pavilion on Higgins Lane Park, which, sounds quite exciting.
Well, not in the foundation,
Yeah,
so we don't want to knock the building
No,
down.
no, but
And the entrance.
Yeah, the entrance bit, so when there's that the new construction, so it's part of the construction, so it's got a time capsule going in there, which I think is quite a nice idea. So I have contacted Phil to get some more information on how we could go about that. Still waiting for a bit more information back from Phil, so...
The person that arranged it, she happy with that?
Well, I mean, it was his suggestions.
And the person that to organise the time.
Well,
capsule.
we've got to sort of. I was going to try and get a bit more information and then go back to Nikki. But yeah, it's a possibility. So yeah.
I mean, he did say that, like, have a commemorative slab or something on it, so people knew it's there. Richard?
Yeah, as we say, that's just a long wait, though, isn't it? Because looking at the whatever it was, the paperwork and everything, and I can't remember the dates of that. it's like it was at the end of 23, 24 before we even start building on the site, pending them getting permission. And then also the second question was, it was agreed that, I think it was full council a while ago, that we get the mayor to present a certificate of appreciation to
That
Ricky
was in the
Cleaver.
minutes on this one.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if that's been done yet, because it is important to thank her, because she did do it. It's a good idea, isn't it? Our town's got behind it. Even if it's not been buried yet, it would still be nice to thank her. I think that's important. It just seems that, yeah, it's a good idea putting it where it's been suggested. It's just a long way away, isn't it?
Well, we have got 100 years
Yeah.
to get it. So
Yeah, it's not going to be that long.
no, it's
No,
not
really.
been dug up for 100 years. So I think it's safe. The stuff's in there. I do understand what you mean. It's like with the mosaics, it's taken a long time to get it in position. But I think if we've got 100 years, we might be in that time scale somewhere. Is that okay?
You know, that's just the way to do it. Can we make sure the certificate's sorted out and get the mayor
Yeah.
to present it? I
At
think
the
she'd
mayor's
appreciate
tea.
it.
Okay.
It doesn't matter where, as long as she does, because we did agree with it. I
Yeah.
think she'd appreciate it.
So whenever the mayor's afternoon tea ends up being,
Yeah,
whenever,
at that, yeah.
we'll do that. Have you got that?
You know, one person's going to turn up then, don't you?
And then obviously we've discussed this. Any more on the time capsule? Anybody else got anything to say on that? No. It's been brought up a few times, the Mayor's Tea Party. So we've spoke about it at Easter. Have we had any more? Have you spoken to Jan about it?
I have spoken to Jan, and the two dates that she's come up with are the 25th of February or the 4th of March. They're both Saturdays, and which she thought, and I agreed would get more people. She would like it so that it is people that we've worked with, or she's worked with specifically over the year. So, for instance, one or two of the garden people, the Ellis's from the Boys and Girls Brigade. And so if anyone's got any thoughts, then please send the names on to me. That would be really helpful.
Right, so is it going to be like a guest list?
Yes,
Right.
yes, so
Okay.
people will be invited.
So not a fundraising open.
No, it is a fundraising. So what she said is, where is it? A lucky dip and a raffle.
Right, okay.
I thought if it's fundraising, you want as many people as possible and open it to the public. If it's going to be something thanking particular people that only people are invited, that seems a bit strange. Come along and spend money and raise funds.
Jan's got rich friends.
Oh, right.
She lives on Perth Drive, it's a right
I
posh
mean, the
road. It's right
last
rural.
one we did, it's like, didn't we charge £3 for the afternoon tea?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, and it was open to the public, but Jan's the mayor, it's a tea party.
So yeah, you need to. It's approval of the mayor, isn't it? It's her
Yeah.
event. It's what Jan wants, not what we wanted.
Yeah.
I
So,
see the two things seem a little bit at odds. If we're fundraising and only having invited people there,
yeah. I mean, the only thing I thought
apart
of,
from if the friends are very rich.
we have got David Grindle's tea
Yes.
party here, but if it's invited guests, then it doesn't matter really, does
So,
it?
no, David Grindles is also invited.
Alright.
Yeah.
Invited people who
Because
have,
you put Steph forward, didn't you, for that?
yeah, so, and I'm obviously quite happy to go back to the mayor and say, is it a fundraising or is it a thank you tea, to
Yeah.
get clarity on that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's down to Jan anyway,
Oh, yeah.
so, yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll wait to hear from you.
Yeah.
When's the Broxton one?
20th
Oh,
February.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything else to say on that. Anybody else? No. So commemorative plaque scheme. So there was a meeting, a working group meeting last Wednesday on this. Unfortunately, I couldn't attend because I was at a borough meeting. But if there are any more of those working groups, kind of like Richard asked, if we can look that it don't clash. Because a lot of us would like to be involved, but we can't. We're at borough. And I know it's not always possible, but...
No, I was just going to ask, does the borough have a list of...
Yeah, it's on the website.
Thank you. Their website.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
So if anybody could give us an update on this, I would appreciate it.
I'm happy to, yeah, because I think it was myself, Richard, Lorraine and Thomas were there with Sally on Wednesday. I'd like to thank Sally because she did a lot of the legwork for us in that meeting, the documents. So it was basically putting together a scheme for a Blue Plaque Award because, just a bit of background, the official English Heritage Blue Plaque Scheme is for the Greater London area, but other areas can have their own Blue Plaque Scheme. I think I've got that right, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So the idea is that we have our own Blue Plaque Scheme for Stapleford. There was a Blue Plaque Scheme for the south of the borough area that was run by the History Society and some other groups, but a lot of it was based on Beeston. So what we did was look at their documentation and criteria, or Sally pulled a lot of their criteria and what the Greater London scheme was. And we just pulled bits out of, she pulled bits out and put this document together for us about what the criteria will be and how people can apply. So the idea is that anyone who can apply, but it's got to be somebody who has made a significant and recognisable impact to the local area. And the other point is that the application should be at least 5 years after their death or 100 years since their birth. So there's no...
Or for a building?
It could be a building, it could be an event, or it could be a place. So we had a discussion about what sort of things would need that. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a specific person. It could be, this is a historic building, this could be an event that happened here. So we've got kind of a range of things that could be commemorative by this scheme. So what Sally did for us was put together a whole list of what the application process would be, which is very helpful. And we discussed the type of signage that we wanted and what colour and size and things, obviously depending on whether it's suitable for the area. And then there's an application form, sort of a rough outline of what the application form looks like. And also we talked a bit about, obviously it's up to the individual to put together the evidence for what they would like the person or event or place that they'd like to have commemorated. They've also got to do the fundraising, but we talked about the role that the council could have in supporting them in their application. And if we think it's good, then it comes to this committee for discussion, and if we approve it, then we can maybe help them promote their social media for fundraising or do other things to help them along. So that's basically what this document is. Have I covered roughly? Or is it...
No, I think you've got it. And whatever's in it, it's simple, it's easy to understand.
Yeah.
It's not all. If Brock's knows it, crikey, none of us know what it means. Sam's done a good job of this.
On number 4, the application process, point 3 says Stapleford Town Council review the nomination.
Yeah.
But then by the time we get to point 6 and 7, it talks about arts, heritage and arts events and heritage.
Does that mean this?
Yeah. So
Oh right, okay.
so
Yeah.
it's not. So number 3 should it be the Arts Events Heritage Committee of Stapleford Town Council?
I don't know. Well, I suppose that's something to decide. Do we want this to be approved by full council?
Shall we?
Happy for this
Sorry.
to go to this committee?
Yeah. I was going to say, I said at the time I think it should be full council, because the reason being, again, this goes back to next administration, they might not want an Arts, Events and Heritage Committee, and then you're faffing around changing things. You know, it's, if it just says stay for the town council, does that give us permission that it's stay for the town council as in full council, or does it mean it could go off to a committee? But if it just says a specific committee and that's changed, you've got to change it all back.
So 6 and 7 would
Yeah, they should just both say stay for the
6
town
and 7
council.
would need to be changed
So-
as well.
Yeah,
We've been asked to adopt this, so
with them changes.
with the
Yeah.
amendments. Yeah. Is there any more questions, comments on this?
It's nice and simple, isn't it?
There's one or two things that, so I've only quickly read this for a meeting, there were one or two things where it repeated itself. Does that matter? I don't think there's anything else that contradicted in just my read through.
No.
Oh yeah, don't use honours.
Where's that?
I think it was in the wording.
The wording and text used in the plaque. Do not use honours, for example, OB after or central beneath. So does that mean honours can be used somewhere else?
Oh, I thought we said it does use honours. Which line does that say on?
The wording and text used in the
No, what
plaque,
page?
point 1, pages aren't numbered.
It is, the wording text is on the plaque, part 5, it's at the top of the,
What page?
I don't know what numbers.
Oh, what numbers?
1, 2, 3, 4, page 5. And the wording and text used on the plaque.
Oh, right, yeah, I can see it. Plain language exceptions. What's wrong with it?
It says do not use honours, for example, OBE after name or central or beneath. So could they be used somewhere else, the honours?
I think that could be mistaken. It's the document I was given, I sat.
God, it said do, you can use them. Yeah, I suggest, yeah.
Well, it's up to us.
I think they should be, because if someone's got an MBE or an OBE or whatever, all of that, that's an honour, isn't it? Well, it's an honour. It says, it should be on there with the name.
Yeah, okay, we can change that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should,
So
it should be. You should celebrate what someone's got. Yeah. Did you put it on your bank card?
Yes.
There you go then, so that's sure.
So in principle of how this scheme is going to be run, I mean, we can argue over a few comments in the actual documentation. So we've got a couple of amendments, but are we happy with how
I
the
think
scheme
it
is
seems
going
really
to be
good. I
run?
think it seems to
Just
use
use that one now,
that
don't you?
after name or central beneath.
Yeah, do not use honours.
Is there any way of doing it so that if anything else comes up?
I think
It's not an in stone document, is it? It's the principle of doing this scheme.
That again, that's good. Perhaps in the proposal we say something about we call it guidance rather than
Yeah.
this is the procedure. I don't think we should call it procedure.
You say it's guidelines, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, okay, so I'll propose this to adopt the criteria and guidance. Yeah, are we happy with that wording? After the following amendments. Yeah, so we've got the amendments.
Yeah.
Yeah, are we happy with that, everybody?
I'm second that.
Yeah, all those in favour? That's everybody. Right, number 9. So, Heritage Interpretation Board project. Update. Anybody got an update on that one? No.
Because that
It's
was
on
that was
stalled, isn't
in the
it?
minutes. It said looking for funding, didn't it?
Yes.
I believe that's what Sun is still doing, is looking for funding.
Right.
Yeah.
So once, I assume once we can find funding,
Yeah.
then we'll call a working party.
You just leave it on the agenda, don't you, just in case there's anything there, there's nothing there, it doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah. That's it. So the date of the next meeting is 6th of March. And thank you everybody for coming.
Thank you.
And we're blessed with